video is brought to you by Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876 309 6128. That's 876 309 6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876 586 0471.
Hi, my name is Lee Williamson. Subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary.
Hi, my name is Joby McAnuff. Subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary.
Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm Simon Preston. Welcome back to Reggae Boys Commentary. You all know what this platform is about. Jamaican football related information. Yes, hope everybody's doing okay. It's January 14, 2025. So we're well into the second week of January, you could even say. We're approaching the third week of the new year, and we know what lies ahead of us for this calendar year as well. So it's great to see everybody as well. And for those of you in the chat as well, that is also encouraging as well. So we are grateful for that as well. So very happy. So looking forward to seeing and more from you all as well, so we can be able to get to the information, right? I am so special says hail, what up? Corey says up. Sports TV says active. All right, you're in the house. Cool. Up top, what's going on? Dr. Jason Scott Hamilton says hail up, Simon. How you doing? Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well, Doc. All the best to you and the family for 2025. Yep, good to hear from you as well. So, as I'm sure everybody's aware, yesterday information was unveiled in relation to the friendly internationals against Trinidad and Tobago. And that will be in the month of February 6 and February 9. Carlington Clark says, what's up? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Everybody knows what February 6 means to Jamaica. It was the day Bob Marley was born, February 6, 1945. So February 6, he would be 80 years old. But yeah, going back to the footballing element of things, we know what February 6 means in a football perspective as well. It was the day that we drew 0-0 with Mexico to secure our first ever point at the Azteca Stadium, the first ever Caribbean team to do so, and the first team alongside the United States, Costa Rica, and Honduras from CONCACAF specifically to go to the Azteca Stadium and avoid defeat. And we've done this twice in our history, as we know, 2013 and also 2023, where we had a 2-2 draw in the CONCACAF Nations League. So in relation to these upcoming matches, as made mention, February 6 and February 9, it's outside the FIFA window. So it is an amazing opportunity for domestic-based players to be able to strut their stuff ahead of what the FIFA windows that lie ahead: March, June, July, September, October, November. Massive FIFA windows that do a lie ahead for Jamaica, and we're eagerly looking forward to those windows, you know what I mean? So that's very good, and very glad to see and hear all of that information, so that is what I've said, so in relation to these games, as you know, when we took on Trinidad and Tobago last year, which was 2024, remember that we saw 3 players from that domestic based contingent that eventually made the, I don't want to say transition, but were part of Jamaica's squad for every single camp for the rest of 2024. So it was Kaheem Dixon, we saw Richard King, and also Shaquan Davis. Those 3 players coming out of the domestic-based camps and after the friendlies against Trinidad and Tobago were part of every single FIFA window, every single camp for Jamaica, post those Trinidad and Tobago fixtures. That's Kaheem Dixon, Richard King, and of course Shaquan Davis. Kaheem Dixon, we know, scored in his debut against Trinidad and Tobago, and Shaquan Davis, as you know, he made his debut against Trinidad and Tobago in that 0-0 draw on March 3, 2024. Richard King, over 20 caps for Jamaica, and we know the 2024 that he had as well, club-wise as well, champions of Jamaica, champions of the Caribbean as well, and of course winning a Nations League medal for Jamaica, so 3 medals around his neck. It would be nice to see a picture of that. I'm not going to lie to you. It would be such a pleasant picture to see him with those 3 medals around his neck that he won in 2024. The Nations League bronze medal, the JPL winners medal, and of course the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup gold medal as well. So those 3 medals, I think it would be very, very good to see. So I would certainly like that. You know what I'm saying? Simon, what is the deal with Joel Cunningham? Joel Cunningham, as you know, Arnett Gardens, he played in those 2 matches against Trinidad and Tobago. He then left Arnett Gardens, went on trials overseas in North America. So we're just going to have to wait and see how everything pans out from there, you know what I'm saying? Deshaun Johnson, similarly to what happened last year and also the year before, you have camps before the fixtures against Trinidad and Tobago. So you're going to have camps, and when you have those camps, squad will be selected after those camps for the matches against Trinidad and Tobago. So you're going to have camp with the domestic-based players, and from the camps with the domestic-based players, the squad will be picked for the friendlies against Trinidad and Tobago. It was the same thing like last year, and also the same thing the year before as well. We can even go back to 2023. Remember when we took on Trinidad and Tobago in 2023 as well? We saw a number of debuts as well. We saw a debut to Dexter Lembikisa. We also saw a debut to Tyler Roberts. We saw debut to Dejon Whisper Richards. Dejon Whisper Richards eventually went on to the Gold Cup, similarly with Dexter Lembikisa as well. Went on that tour in Austria as well prior to the Gold Cup, Jamaica going to the semi-finals, booking our ticket to the Copa America later in that calendar year of November of 2023 as well. So you have to say that from the domestic camps that took place, and of course the friendlies that followed after that, there is a pathway, there is an opportunity. Everybody should hold their head up and say there's an opportunity. Kaheem Dixon was invited to camp at the start of the year, and 6 months later, he's signing for Charlton in England. Shaquan Davis was part of the camps, and he's been part of every camp since for Jamaica. 1 cap, 1 medal for Jamaica so far. Richard King, we know his progression as well. So that is extremely exciting. You know what I'm saying? So that is very, very good. Damien Hines says Jaden Hibbert, a goalkeeper. Jaden Hibbert, he did make his debut against Trinidad and Tobago last year. That is correct. I was more highlighting players that were part of every single camp for Jamaica in the calendar year of 2024. And for Jaden Hibbert, he was in the camp for the friendly matches against Trinidad and Tobago, and he was also in the camp for the 2 World Cup qualifiers against the Dominican Republic and Dominica. Those were the 2 camps that he was involved in the calendar year of 2024. So he knows what the environment is like, or has been in environments amongst domestic-based players, and also are players that apply their trade outside of Jamaica as well. So he has seen different environments, he's traveled with the team, he's trained with the team, and all of this is so important and should never be brushed aside at all. For you to have that experience of mingling with different sorts of players, warming up, training with different sorts of players, it's only going to bode well for him. And as everybody is aware with Jaden Hibbert, he signed a new contract with Atlanta United, so he is on the books of Atlanta United in Major League Soccer. I do hope that he gets the opportunity this season in Major League Soccer. It was fantastic for him last year to be able to get the experience in the USL Championship, to get some games under his belt. That was fantastic for him to be able to get some professional minutes under his belt club-wise. Fantastic for him, and a great environment for him to do so as well. So I'm happy about that. He's going to be 21 later this year, so a young goalkeeper. As you know, he made his debut for Jamaica as a 19-year-old, 2 caps, and he has 2 clean sheets as well. And when you think about goalkeepers that have made their debut for Jamaica as a teenager, not many spring to mind. You think about Jadine White. You also think about Jaden Hibbert as well. You know, goalkeepers who made their debut for Jamaica as a teenager. It's not many. It's not many. honestly. A very, very small list. You talk about Jaden Hibbert, 19 years old. Jaden White, sorry, 18 years old against Ecuador in 2018. Dwayne Miller, 19 years old against Malaysia back in 2007. We won that game. Ryan Thompson against the US Virgin Islands in 2004. And of course, Warren Barrett against Barbados, which was in 1990. I know many people are saying, well, what about Kanaya Boyce Clark? Well, Kanaya Boyce Clark, he made his debut for Jamaica at 20 years old. He was 20 years old when he made his debut against St. Kitts and Nevis at the Gold Cup. So, yeah, especially these 5 goalkeepers since 1990 to do so. Jaden Hibbert, Jaden White, Dwayne Miller, Ryan Thompson, Warren Barrett. Yeah, fantastic list when you think about things. Ahmad Zuihar Bahal, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Okay. We'll have to look at the regulations, Damien Hines. And as everybody's aware, you all know exactly that you can use a super chat feature to show your love and support to the platform as well. Super stickers, and also you can be able to, purchase a membership in the channel. So that will be there. Carlington Clark, tickets will be sold online. It most likely will be jff.quappy.com. So once that link is up, then we'll certainly share that information. But right now, the link is not up to purchase tickets, but at least you know for now where the games will be, when it will be. And in addition to that, tickets are 3,000 Jamaican dollars. However, if you purchase your tickets a week before the match, then it will be 2,500 Jamaican dollars. So, a week before the game, 2,500 Jamaican dollars. If you purchase your tickets in the days leading up to the match or on match day, that's 3,000 Jamaican dollars. So that is what I'll say. Javar Laban, I think you're talking about the Gold Cup prelims. That's in March. This window that we're discussing right now is not window, but these matches that we're talking about is against Trinidad and Tobago in 2 friendly internationals. That is what we're discussing right now. What you're discussing is the Gold Cup prelims. And absolutely, when it comes to Gold Cup prelims, this is a set of games that we have to, that of course, Jamaica will be taken seriously, because we know it determines qualification to the group stages of the Gold Cup. So of course, it is something that is very important and something that has to be achieved. Because when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, the CONCACAF Gold Cup is the very, 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 very last dress rehearsal prior to the final round of World Cup qualifying. So it shows the magnitude of what the Gold Cup means. 6 games at most. If you get to the Gold Cup final, you're playing 6 games. 6 solid games to be able to strut your stuff, maybe test a few things. So all of those elements will be considered, you know what I mean? So that is good. If the game will be live, the game will be live at the Montego Bay Sports Complex and also at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex. I guess the question that you are trying to ask is that if it will be streamed online. I guess that is the question that you have asked. So information will be unveiled in relation to the live streaming. Most likely, yes, it will be on the Jamaica JFF Live on YouTube, and persons will have to pay the membership fee to be able to watch the 2 fixtures. Under 20s, the under 20 women, they kick off proceedings in the month of February. We'll have the under 17 girls that will kick off the calendar year, the end of January. We'll also have the under 17 boys in mid-February rather, and also the under 20 girls will kick off in late February as well. So very exciting, very, very exciting. So that is what I'll say. We'll have to wait and see, Nitro. Time will tell. Like I said, you have domestic-based camps that will take center stage at some point next week. And from there, the squad will be selected after these camps leading up to the game. So we're just going to have to wait and see, because remember, you have the domestic-based camps, and after the camps, then you will have the squad that will be selected for the 2 fixtures against Trinidad and Tobago. So there is a step to it. There's a process for it. DV Mind says, bless up, Simon. Bless up. Deshaun Johnson, as I said yesterday, in relation to players that ply their trade in North America, every club is different when it comes to the preseason obligations and requirements. So you can find situations where a player in his environment that he is available, and if called upon, he will be in the squad. However, you have some environments where persons are having preseason training in Hawaii or in Tokyo or in Seoul, Korea, which is the different corner of the world, the different side of the world. So every club is different in how they do preseason. Not all of the clubs are having preseason within the United States. So it's specific. It's different, I should say, for each person. So it just depends on the club and the player as well. So yeah, so from that standpoint, yeah. So Damon Hines, I answered your question already. I'm not sure if you heard what I said, but I did answer your question already. And you know the fine for repeating the question that I already asked a question. So you have to pay the fine of a super chat in the chat. All right. Yes, come on, guys. Show your love to the platform. All right, show your love to the platform. It's been 8 months since I had a super chat. So come on, guys. You know what you need to do. And Nitro has also reiterated the point as well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Ahmad, we had under 20 men's qualifiers last year. So the next under 20 cycle is not for the 2027 World Cup. And the qualifiers for the 2027 World Cup would not be until 2026. So there's no under 20 men's tournament this calendar year. Remember, this year, 2025, is the World Cup year for the under 20 men. So therefore, the next under 20 cycle would be for the 2027 under 20 World Cup. And therefore, the qualifiers for the 2027 under 20 World Cup for men will not be until 2026. I don't understand what you're saying, Nitro. Honestly, I don't. Players that are were in JPL and are now in the US. Who are you talking about specifically? Because as I said before, if you're available, if the club's preseason obligations is not a huge one and you are called up, then there's an opportunity. At the end of the day, it will come down to the technical staff on which North American based players they will decide. So we're just going to have to wait and see. So remember, this is a great opportunity for the domestic based players that are physically on the island to be able to strut their stuff, show their ability. And you have to view that as a positive as well, because I've highlighted already 3 players that were part of every camp last year, the Shaquan Davises of this world, the Kaheem Dixons of this world, and also in addition to him, Richard King as well. And all of them were part of the Nations League campaign. We saw Kaheem Dixon score a World Cup qualifying goal. We saw Shaquan Davis playing CONCACAF Caribbean Cup football, and Richard King winning 3 medals for Jamaica this calendar year. That's what I said, Ahmad. That's what I said. Qualifiers for the 2027 Under 20 World Cup don't start until 2026. So therefore, the men's under 20s in CONCACAF won't have competitive matches this calendar year. So I thought you were aware about that it's a 2-year cycle when it comes to under 20 men. This year is a World Cup year. In a World Cup year for under 20, you don't have tournaments taking place in a World Cup year. Just for that age group, the focus itself is the World Cup. So therefore, for under 20 boys in CONCACAF, there is no CONCACAF under 20 boys championship this year. It was last year in Mexico. So therefore, the next CONCACAF Under 20 Boys Championship will not be until 2026 and possibly 2027. Absolutely, Nitro. You know that question. You know the answer to that question from the year 2016. You know the answer to that question from the year 2016. So honestly, it is despicable. It is foolish. It is daft. It is naive. And it is extremely amateurish for you to ask that question, especially when you know the content that is on this platform since 2016. So you know the answer to that question. You know the answer to that question. There's over 2,600 videos on this platform, and I want you to sift through right now the bulk of the videos that have come on this platform, highlighting players of Jamaican heritage that are even outside of England, that are in different corners of the globe. So for you to ask that question is very amateurish. It is very despicable. It is very naive and it is very unprofessional. Very, very much so. So shame on you. Very, very, very much shame on you, because you are somebody that is not thinking before typing, unfortunately. So that is very, very sad. So Trinidad and Tobago against Jamaica. Now, when it comes to this fixture, where did this all begin? Where did this rivalry start? So as everybody knows, in the calendar year of, well, back in the 1950s, we had the West Indies Federation. The West Indies Federation. Well, Nitro, I don't understand exactly what you talk about. I'm not under duress. I have no gray hairs. And I'm in my early 30s. So I don't know what you're referring to. Clearly, you don't know what it means to be a professional. So I'm going to ask you to look up the definition of that as well. And clearly, you didn't study broadcasting in university and know the principles and practices of that aspect of things. Will the Trinidad have an age bracket? No, there's no age bracket. And as Coach Steve McLaren said in his very first press conference, the age of the player and the league that they play in is not the deterrent for selection. It is the ability of the player. The age or the league is not his factor. And Coach McLaren made that clear in the very, very first press conference. That was back in August. Yeah, August he said that. So there's no age to it. And even if you follow the last domestic camp last year, January, you had Richard King at 22, you had Jashawn Anglin at 22. The only players that were above the age of 30 were Fabian Reed and Kemar Foster. Those were the only players that were above the age of 30, and Sule McCullough. So that's 3 names. So that's evidence in terms of recent evidence. That's what I would say. So that's what I would say. So Nitro, again, you are speculating, and on this platform it is about accuracy, reliability, credibility, and positivity. I think Coach McLaren made it very clear. I'm not sure if you listened to the interview that he did prior to firstly the squad announcement for the USA games, and also the interview that was done right after the USA 4-2 game in St. Louis, Missouri. He said for the January-February window, it's not a window, but the January-February timeframe, the focus is the domestic-based players, because it is important to see what is the best that we have on the island. And from there, he'll be able to see what we have on the island and progress on further. In a sense, you could say this is his first real opportunity to do that, because got the job August, September, you're jumping into a Nations League window. October, you're jumping into a Nations League window. November, you're jumping into a Nations League window. So it has been back to back to back in terms of the competitive fixtures that have lied ahead. So this is the first real opportunity that Coach McLaren is getting to see players apply their trade on the island of Jamaica. Now, of course, you will have some players that are available that apply their trade in North America, the Canadian Premier League, the USL Championship, USL League One, and Major League Soccer. You will have some of players who apply their trade in those leagues be available. So, for example, you have a club like El Paso Locomotive, where Jamali Wade plays, for example. They're not going to go to Dubai for preseason training. They'll reside in the United States. You understand what I'm saying? So you get the point of where I am right now with this. BM says, I'm late. When are the Trinidad games? The Trinidad games are February 6 and February 9. Again, the games are February 6 and February 9. February 6 at the Montego Bay Sports Complex at 7:30 p.m. and February 9 at 8 o'clock at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex in Arnott Gardens. So those are when those games will take place. When did he say that, Nitro? Because he did not say that verbatim. So that's why it's very important to listen and watch the press conferences, everything that he says. Because he did not say, oh, I don't know Jamaica. No, he did not say that. So again, it's very important that on this platform, the things that you speak are accurate, reliable, credible as well, because he did not say that. And as I said before, yes, we have players who ply their trade in USL Championship, USL League One, USL League Two, MLS, and the CPL, which is the Canadian Premier League. Of course, you will have clubs, players that are available from those leagues. So then it'll be down to the technical staff to reach out to the clubs. If they see a player that they're interested to reach out to those players and call them up. And once there's no issue with that club, then great. Because remember, this is not a FIFA window, so it's not a guarantee. It is not a guarantee. If this was March, then cool, but it is not a guarantee. So one step at a time. Corey Bennett, as you know, Javari Laban has moved to Kuwait. That is the situation with Corey. Corey Bennett, he has moved to Kuwait, and very happy for him. And you could say, in a sense, that he's gone into an environment that is similar to Las Vegas, especially because of the weather. But Corey Bennett has gone to Kuwait, and you know the situation is with Corey is that he's already in a season. So you factor Al Nassr, the club that he has signed for, they have games tomorrow, January 21, February 2, February 8, February 13. So he's already in the middle of a season. So to go and call him up when he's just signed for a club, hasn't settled in the environment yet, it's tricky. So it's difficult to expect players who ply their trade in the Middle East to be involved in the Trinidad games. Very, very difficult to picture that. He's in a different environment. Very, very difficult. See, Nitro, again, you're changing your words because you first said that he said that he doesn't know, which is not true. And because he says Maron Gordon has been assisting me, or the guidance of Maron Gordon, that doesn't mean that you don't have the information. That doesn't mean that you don't know anything. So that is why it is very good not to assume things and to speak what we know. That is very, very important. BM, the under-17s have a fantastic chance, a very fantastic chance. 3 wins away from a World Cup, as you rightfully said. We have El Salvador, we have St. Lucia, and the Cayman Islands. Win those 3 games, qualify for the World Cup. It is as simple as that. It is as simple as that. Nitro, I'm not sure what you're referring to mediocrity. I've always said that I'm a Jamaican and I love my country, and you've seen all the videos right here on this platform, and I made it abundantly clear. And I've been very, very consistent about it as well. Joel Atibadir is just as much as a Jamaican as I am. Tiffany Cameron is just as much as a Jamaican as I am. Just because I was born in this country and they weren't, doesn't mean that they are less of a Jamaican as I am. Absolutely not. So I'm not sure what you're thinking or where your mind is, but I've made it abundantly clear. January, domestic-based camps. February, the 2 matches. The squad for the matches against Trinidad and Tobago will be selected after the domestic-based camps. The possibility exists that players in North America could get an opportunity. Well, Brown Bear, I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's actually an MOU with Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. So it is actually not a waste of time to play Trinidad and Tobago. Far from it, in fact. It's not a waste of time to play Trinidad and Tobago. It's actually quite beneficial when you're bearing in mind that close to Jamaica, they're the next best English-speaking nation in the Caribbean, footballing-wise. So it is not a waste of time. It is 2 matches. It is an MOU that has been signed between both countries for a number of years now, and it's been tremendously beneficial. Just like last year, we went to Trinidad and Tobago. This year, they're coming to us. And of course, we played each other for under-17 boys and also under-20 boys last year as well. So tremendously beneficial, as our under-20 boys went to Trinidad last year and our under-17 boys played Trinidad in Jamaica last year as well. So you can't say that it is a waste at all, because these are players, our domestic players, that it's an opportunity to hold up their hand. So that is what I'd say. Nitro, do not speak to me with disrespect. Do not disrespect me. You know exactly who I am. I'm Simon Richard Latham Rupert Preston, 6 feet 6 inches tall. Do not disrespect me. I have an award. I'm the recipient of a Prime Minister's award, so I know exactly what I'm referring to. I know exactly what I'm speaking about. I do not speak nonsense. I do not speculate. I speak what I know, and I speak facts. Okay? So do not be disrespectful. Good. Well, Nitro, it's better to have a camp than do nothing at all. Think about it. March is the next FIFA window. So Coach McLaren has seen players apply the trade in England, in the United States, in the Middle East, a couple of them. So it'll be wise as well to also see what is the best that we have on the island. It was through these domestic camps last year that we saw a Kaheem Dixon scored in his debut for Jamaica, scored in a World Cup qualifier for Jamaica, now playing his trade in England. Richard King, I'm sure at some point in the future, will be playing his club football abroad as well. Shaquan Davis at some point as well. So you can't say that it is a waste of time to have domestic-based camps. You can't say that it is a waste of time when the coach made it very clear that we have to see the best of what is on the island. And if there's any that can hold their hand up and say, I want to be part of the squad in March and beyond, it's down to the player. Of course, it's down to the player. Two things, down to the ability of the player, and of course, having a visa to enter the United States. Because as you know, as Jamaican passport holders, we need a visa to go everywhere in this world. If you want to go to the United States, you need an American visa. If you want to go to Canada, you need a Canadian visa. You want to go to the United Kingdom, you need a British visa. So it is what it is when you have a Jamaican passport. Visas are extremely important as well in the grand scheme of things. Yes, he has, Nitro. Yes. Hey, John Peel fan. I'm good. How are you doing? Hey, Unseen. How are you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Right. So as I was saying, let's go back to the Trinidad and Tobago aspect of things. Oh, there's more people. Yeah, I was making the point, John Peel fan, that when it comes to clubs that are in the MLS, well, North American clubs, their preseason, all the clubs are very different. I made the point that some clubs having their preseasons outside of North America. Some clubs are having their preseason within the North America. So the point is, let's not forget as well, this is not a FIFA window. So a club can say no. So there's no guarantee that I call up Simon Preston, who plays for LA Galaxy. There's no guarantee that Simon Preston will and LA Galaxy will accept the call up. Absolutely no guarantee at all. So that is the aspect of things. Of course, I'm sure that some will be available. Absolutely. At the end of the day, it will be down to the technical staff after the evaluation of the domestic-based camps. So that's what I'll say there. Yes, Nitro, you did. You did. You said, why are we having a camp in a critical year? That's what you said. And Nitro, I never said that MLS players were not excluded. I said to you that clubs who are in North America in preseason mode right now, different clubs operate differently. Some will be going to Dubai, some will be going to Japan, some will be staying in the United States. So different clubs have different motives. So some players will be available and some will not. It depends on the club. Javari Laban, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Unseen says he's okay. All right, good. Yeah, has anybody seen what the standings look like now in the league? Yeah, quite compelling, isn't it? When you factor in how the top six shapes up, Tivoli Gardens just outside of the top six. But I mean, we're just into the second round of action of matches, aren't we? So honestly, could the top six remain the same? It could. It could. But I would say let's not rule out Tivoli Gardens. Let's see the battle of Tivoli Waterhouse to be able to get into the top six of the playoffs. And be compelling as well. Having the playoffs of the Jamaica Premier League at the Montego Bay Sports Complex. Because when you factor in playoffs late April, early May, what happens late April, early May this year? Trials. Trials for the World Championships, trials for under 20 and under 17 games. You have prep school champs, you have primary school champs, you have basic and infant school champs, and you even have a high school that has their sports day at the National Stadium as well. All of that in Kingston. And you also will have Australia touring the Caribbean and coming to Jamaica to Sabina Park as well. So JPL playoffs from the Montego Bay Sports Complex, that would be nice. I would love to see that, actually. That would be nice. That would be nice. No, Nitro, I'm not disingenuous. I'm a Jehovah's Witness, so I'm not disingenuous. That's all. And I never said that we're not having MLS players. So again, you are saying something that is not true. And then again, this platform is accuracy, reliability, credibility, and positivity. I said to you that every MLS club is different in how they operate. So when you have matches outside of the window, MLS clubs can say, no, it's not March. Simple. When we had the domestic camps last year, was there any players from the MLS in the domestic camp? No. Was there any MLS players in the friendlies against Trinidad? Yes, one, Jaden Hibbert. I'm sure you get the picture now. Yeah, Kevin Graham, I've been told this probably around 50 times in my life. Yeah, I've been told about 50 times in my life that I do look like him, honestly. Yeah. I've been told that way, yeah. Yeah. I've said that. People have said that to me. So, yeah. So where did this start? Jamaica against Trinidad and Tobago. Where did this rivalry start? Well, we have to go back to 1958. In 1958, there was the forming of the West Indies Federation. Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Barbados. But this only lasted 4 years, and Jamaica got independence. And then shortly after that, you had Trinidad and Tobago getting independence shortly after that. Since that moment in time, it felt like anything that Jamaica did, Trinidad also had to do as well. So 25 days after Jamaica got independent, Trinidad and Tobago said that they needed to do the same as well. It's interesting that there's so much in common, yet so much that divides as well. Both Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, two countries that also were Spanish colonies as well. That's right. Before the British Empire, Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago were also Spanish colonies. That's the reason why in Trinidad and Tobago that you have a capital called Port of Spain, and you have towns called Arima, Tunapuna. And why in Jamaica you have Spanish town, Rio Bueno, Rio Nuevo, etc., etc., etc. No, I'm not a critic, Jean-Pierre fan. I'm just highlighting what sports, the calendar of sports looks like in this calendar year in the April-May timeframe. And it's something worth considering, bearing in mind the sporting events that will take center stage in the months of April, May, and early June. Well, June is the start of World Cup qualifiers, but you get the point that I'm making here and how it is all panned out. I understand your point, Jean-Pierre fan, but we've seen Sabina Park host the playoffs of the JPL 3 years in a row. 2022, 2023, 2024. 3 years at Sabina Park, right? And you would say that has been a success, right? Absolutely. Even from the quarterfinals first leg, ram. Absolutely ram. You take an hour just to leave the parking lot or longer. Montego Bay, under the lights, whew, that is an atmosphere. Let me tell you something, Jean-Pierre fan. You should have been there last year when Waterhouse was playing Mobe United. Waterhouse leading 2-0 after 80 minutes. And the Mobe fans were not budging. And guess what? They pulled one back, and you could feel the earth beneath you shake. And they got the equalizer to make it 2-2 late on. St. James loves football. Can't deny that at all. You can't deny that at all. Carl Argy says, greetings, Simon, all respect. Well, Javar Laban, I'm not sure if you are aware, but in relation to the upgrades of the National Stadium, what is being done is expanding the seating capacity. And what our Minister of Sports, Olivia Grange, has said is the building of a sports museum on the grounds of Independence Park Limited. So those are the things that will take center stage in this calendar year. So what's going to happen is that the seating capacity of the National Stadium will slightly decrease during the redevelopment work. That's what's going to happen. Car says 1 MBU. So yeah, that's what I'd say. You know what I'm saying? So I went to my Julian Hall. Julian Hall, 16 years old, born to a Jamaican dad, Polish mom, New York Red Bulls. Yeah, Corey Burke speaks so highly about him. Corey Burke, big up yourself. But yeah, Julian Hall, 5'10" at 16, so he's almost a big man, and he's gonna break out. Julian Hall. Don't think he has a Jamaican passport, but let me just tell you something. Julian Hall is wow. He's gonna explode next season. If given the opportunity, he's gonna explode. So you see, Nitro, I do know about players who play the trade in the MLS. Yeah, it's quite a club. You factor in Kyle Duncan as well. Kyle Duncan was born to Jamaican parents as well. So yeah, so it's good. It's good. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, let's see. Let's see how it all unfolds, Jean-Pierre fan, because as you know, June is a critical time frame with the World Cup qualifiers. Granted, it is one game on home soil in June. But yeah, it would be interesting. All playoff games, 2 quarterfinals, well, 4 quarterfinals because it's two legs, That's 4 quarterfinals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. So like 10 games in playoffs, really. 10 games at the National Stadium over the space of 5 weeks. So yeah. Yeah. Gregor Hines says, good day, Simon. Big up. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Yep, I'm aware. 2021 or 2020, I think. 2020. Carlinson Grant says, big up, Simon. Simon, I saw Kyle Duncan at Pico. He was in Jamaica recently. That is true. He was in Jamaica recently, and he even posted on his social media a picture with him and his dad outside the office in Constant Spring. So he did post it and he did share it on his social media. So it's good for him being proactive, being in Jamaica and everything like that. So that's good. Kevin Graham. Yeah. And Kevin, you know everything about how those qualifiers was as well when you factor in how it was in 1999. It was Jared Park as well, right? Remember, it was Jared Park, and in the qualifiers itself, it was Honduras, Costa Rica, USA, Jamaica. And it was only the group winner, remember, it was only the group winner that would advance to the World Cup. The second place team would go into a playoff with a team from the next group. So in the other group, you had Mexico, Trinidad, Canada, El Salvador. Mexico won that group. El Salvador came second. So we knew how that group was first. We started off well. We defeated Honduras 1-0, and then we defeated Costa Rica 2-0. And then going into that game against the United States, they had 4 points because they drew with Costa Rica and they defeated Honduras. So Jamaica had 6, USA had 4 points. So a draw would take Jamaica to the World Cup in New Zealand. So remember how that panned out when the United States with Landon Donovan and Gucci Onyewu, that crop of players, and to secure qualification. Special moment, isn't it? Jared Park. Yeah, man, I remember, Kevin. I remember, man. Yeah, man, big up yourself, Kevin. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well and that your family is doing well. You're an outstanding servant to Jamaica, man. Enough respect, man. Big up. I remember it vividly. You had Keith Wilson as well and Alan Whitaker. Keith Wilson, Alan Whitaker, Kevin Graham. Yeah. Good squad too. Great squad, guys. Keith Kelly, Sean Fraser, Shane Stevens, Alex Thomas, Sheldon Baptiste, Craig Gordon, Kingsley Brown, Dwayne Richards, Dane Chambers, Deshaun Woolery, Anthony Bennett, Ronaldo Stewart, Lawrence Alisman, Carol Stewart. So yeah, You're right, DeMarcus Beasley as well. And DeMarcus Beasley must have been like 14 then as well, because he was really young. Because that tournament was for players who were born 1982 and after. That World Cup itself, players born in the calendar year 1982, born after January 1, 1982, those players. So those players now would be 42, 43. Isha? Yeah. Brian? Yeah. Ishaya Brian? Corville? Yeah. Good player. I remember, man. And there's a lot of real Mona players in that squad. That was good. Good question, Kevin. Good question. You know, a lot of the players that went to the World Cup, some of them are involved in coaching, some of them enjoying retirement, some of them overseas started a family. So everybody is, you could say, on their own path. You know, everybody's path is different. Yeah. But everybody now would be 42, 43 right now, depending if you are born 1982 or 1983. Yeah, man. Trinidad. That's where you live now, Kevin? But yeah, a lot of Jamaicans have moved to Trinidad, you know. You have about 1,000 Jamaicans in Trinidad right now. And I'm not only talking about persons that were born in Jamaica. So like my cousin had children in Trinidad, born in Trinidad. So her children, to me, are also Jamaican. Absolutely. So the two matches, Javar Laban, are at Montego Bay Sports Complex and at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex. That is where the two games will be played at. Okay. As I said, Javari Laban, what the Sports Minister Olivia Grange spoke about was the expansion of capacity and the building of a sports museum. She did not highlight anything regarding improvement of the pitch. Nothing was made mention about that. What was highlighted was the improvement of the capacity and building of a sports museum. That is what was made mention about. Well, in relation to the senior men's national team, truth is, so Jamaica took on English club Rushden and Diamonds in a friendly in 2004 at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex. Jamaica won that game 2-0. The truth is, when it comes to the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex, we've had youth team games there, under 17, under 20, under 23. But the senior men's national team, This will be our first time. This is a history-making moment. Well, Javar Laban, it's very simple. Just take $2 million out of your account and just give to the Ministry of Sports to improve the facility, to improve the pitch. Interesting, Kevin Graham. Well, the Major Desmond Brown, the operating manager, Independent Spark Limited, says that he has conversation with Coach Steve McLaren. So you have the technical staff that has conversations with the head of IPL in terms of how they want the surface to be, soft or the length of the grass. All of those conversations do take place between the technical staff and also IPL. Those conversations do take place. Yeah, Jean-Pierre fan, just it will be. It's a historic occasion for sure, you know. So I'm looking forward to it vividly. Drew Ross, aka Drew Fortis. How are you doing, man? Hope you're well. All is well? How are things? Elite Prayer says, blessed love, Simon. Blessings. How are you doing? All is well? You're about to do what, Drew Ross? You know? Daria White. Yeah, Daria White is Portland Timbers, Jamaica under 17, and a player that will be an MLS player at some point this year, for sure. Man, I say LOL. Javar Laban, it's very simple, you know. Jamaica is a nation that does need investment. Absolutely, it does need help in the improvement of infrastructure. There's certainly room for improvement. So if you have $2 that can assist, then fantastic, because you'd play a role in the development of that. Okay, very good. Very good, Drew Ross, aka Drew Fortis. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. Very proud of you, Drew Ross. Very, very proud of you. And you see, when you finish that course, I want you to come back here on this platform and discuss it with me. I want you to tell me what you learn. Tycoon says, bless up, Simon. Big up for the big year for football. Absolutely, Tycoon. It is a big year for football. This is a sensational year ahead for football. When you factor in all of these things, it's a defining year. And it's a year where we can qualify for 3 World Cups. 4. We can qualify for 4 World Cups this year. U17 men and women, U20 women, senior men. We can qualify for 4 World Cups this year. Jamaica, in our entire history, have been to 6 World Cups. 2 under 17, 2 senior women, 1 senior men, 1 under 20. The Edward Seaga Stadium, Tivoli Gardens. You know, Kevin, I haven't been there since COVID, you know. I haven't been there since COVID. And when I was there during COVID, there was a lot of birds on the field. But I'm sure all of those elements are being rectified. You're right, Kevin, a massive fan base. It's huge. When it comes to matches in the Jamaica Premier League, though, as you know, it comes down to the organizers. The organizers of the league just choose venues. So it's a specific reason. Well, as I said, Anthony Gordon, prior to the friendlies against Trinidad and Tobago, you're going to have camps. And in the domestic camps, that is where the players will look to impress. And from there, the technical staff will make their selections in relation to the squad for the matches against Trinidad. So you'll have camp first, and after the camp, a squad selection for Trinidad games, and then that squad that is selected will go into a secondary camp now for the games against Trinidad. Ha 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 ha. Let's see, Jean-Pierre fan, let's see. Because It'd be riveting. Like if Tivoli Gardens qualifies for CONCACAF competition, where they would play their home games. If it's Sabina Park, a national stadium, because I know Arnott Gardens, they really want to host games. They've hosted games in the past when it was called the CFU Club Championship. Arnott Gardens have hosted games in that competition. But now the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup, yeah, Arnott Gardens would love to bring games there. Certainly they would. Yeah, Tycoon, Jared Park is still around. Jared Park hosted numerous games during the course of schoolboy football. Jared Park is owned by the St. James Parish Council. So what you find as well is that a lot of cricket matches take place at Jared Park. But yes, Jared Park is still in existence. Of course, we know that we have the Trelawney Multipurpose Stadium. That is Trelawney. All persons would love that. Now that is an interesting venue. Trelawney Multipurpose Stadium. Just seeing the cruise ships dock on the coast. They get off the ship, they come to watch football, they go back on the cruise ship, and they go to their next destination. It is a compelling case, Yeah. Jamaica has played a football match at the Trelawney Multipurpose Stadium, though. That was against Bahamas in 2008. Yeah, Matthew Bell, 22 years old. He went out on loan last year at Real Monarchs in MLS Next Pro and FC Tulsa in the USL Championship. So, cumulatively speaking, you're talking about almost 30 games he played last year. He did make his MLS debut, yes, last year, but he also got the experience of playing in the MLS Next Pro and also the USL Championship. He's 22 right now, and he's going to be 23 in August. I remember when he was at Real Mona, and then, of course, Kingston Football Academy as well. So he's made some strides as well. He was selected in the first round of the MLS draft as well. So it shows how much he's highly rated. And he signed actually a 4-year contract with Real Salt Lake. So this will be the second year of his contract at RSL. So that is good, Hmm. 99. I don't have a squad list of that right now. I'll do some digging, but I don't have a squad list of me at present. Well, Nitro, there haven't been complaints from players in England or North America regarding the national stadium. There haven't been any complaints, especially the USA game. Coach McLaren said in a press conference that the pitch was pristine. He said it was a carpet. So I do know that we had a concert recently at the National Stadium on New Year's Eve. So we give Independence Park now the time to be able to get the field prepared for the international football that we'll have this calendar year. In terms of track and field commitments, the only thing that might affect the surface is Champs. Champs is going to be in March. So you'll have the shot put, discus, javelin, etc. Not javelin. But yeah, you get the point. Okay. All right. Trigger. Oh, Javane Brown. Yeah, Javane Brown, he's 25 now. He's going to be 26 in March. He's a father now, so we say congratulations to Javane Brown. Yeah, he's 25 right now. He's going to be 26 later this year. Still at RSL. And as we know, he previously played with the Vancouver Whitecaps, Treasure Coast Tritons, Santos, and Harbourview. And of course, Kingston College. To JPL games, I think it can work for Montego Bay United games. Absolutely, Richard Green. But as you know, Kingston is not a tourist capital. So when you have persons from overseas that are flying into Kingston, they're flying into Kingston for business purposes. People don't fly to Kingston for vacation. People fly to Kingston. People fly to Mobay, fly for vacation. But the people who fly to Kingston fly in for businesses, meetings, quick meetup with family and friends, and then back to their respective destinations. So Kingston is not a tourist destination. But I do get the point you're making, though. I do understand the point you made. It doesn't hurt if some of these entrepreneurs or businessmen, after their meeting with executive corporate entities in Jamaica, say, okay, my meeting finished at 5, but I can head over to the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex and watch Arna Gardens against Montego Bay United at 7:30. So you are right from that sort of aspect of things. Richard West. Yeah, I remember him scored on his debut for Jamaica. November 24, 2004, in a 12-0 victory over St. Martin. Absolutely, Drew Ross. If you come with that knowledge in a presentation, in a video, I am confident that ground staff, pitch analysts will evaluate the information clearly. Yes, you are correct, Jampiel fans. So that's why I'm saying the North Coast, absolutely, 100%. People flying into Kingston, okay. If you're in a meeting, these business people, and they finish their day 5:30, so listen, there's going to be a match at Arnett at 7:30. We'll grab something to eat. After we grab something to eat, we're going straight to Arnett to watch Arnett against Montego Bay United, two exciting teams in the league. I think it's fine. Well, Nitro, as I said, Javari Lavan, as I said, once you donate your $2 million in the super chat, then certainly it's going to go to the pitch. As you know, it takes time and resources, and Jamaica does need investment. Jamaica needs it. Well, BM, how I remember it is because it was the same day that Luton Shelton made his debut for Jamaica, and it was also the same day that Luton Shelton created history for Jamaica by being the first man on the planet to score 4 goals on his international debut. So that's how I remember. November 24 is also the day that I was born as well. So that's the easy way to help me remember that as well. So it was November 24, 2004. So that's how I remember it. So I wasn't born in 2004, but you get the point. November 24 is my birthday. Yeah. So you get the drift. Mm-hmm. Yes, Jampiel, everybody knows that November is the best month of the year. I don't think it's any secret. You can see greatness is in the month of November. You look at Andre Blake, greatest goalkeeper to ever play in Major League Soccer and anything in the Western Hemisphere. Andre Blake, I know that you agree there. You look at Richard King, the greatest defender in the Jamaica Premier League. You have Jampiel Fan. You have Simon Preston. You have Shaquan Davis. Listen, November is just a month full of great people, and you can't brush that aside at all. You have Casey Palmer as well. So yeah, man, November is the month for great people, and everybody know that. You know, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Dexter Lembekis on November 4. So November is just a month for great people, like good people. Yeah, man, them born in November. Amal Knight, November 19. You know what I'm saying? So November is just the month, isn't it? November is the month. So you get the point. You have Norman Campbell as well, who is a fellow November person. You have Whisper, that was born in November as well. You have Malik Foster, you know. So November is just the month of greatness. The first three overseas clubs that Ricardo Fuller played for, well, you have to factor in Crystal Palace. You have to also factor in Hearts. And in addition to that, you have to factor in Preston North End. It's as simple as that. The greatest Jamaicans born in February. Bob Marley, February. Ravel Morrison, February. Who else in February? Ravel Morrison and Bob Marley. Ravel Morrison, Bob Marley. Okay. All right. Ravel Morrison, Bob Marley. Okay. Sure, no problem. No problem, John PL fan. Clip it up. Javar Laban born in November too? All right. Greatness. Greatness. Richard Green born in November. What you said to me? No, the question was from BM John fan. The first three clubs that he played for. The first three clubs that he played for. Charlton Athletic. Ricardo Fuller didn't play for Charlton until 2012. So that is far further in the journey. We don't talk about Portsmouth yet. We don't talk about Southampton. We don't talk about Ipswich. We don't talk about Stoke City yet. So remember, Simon Preston I talked to, All right, cool. Drew Ross born February. Okay, and Drew Ross is leading the way for improvement of pitches in Jamaica. So, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Dennis Brown. Okay. Okay. Right. So Bob Marley and Ravel Morrison. Okay, cool. I get the drift. No, man, John Peel fan. You're good, man. You're good, man. You're also paving the way, because remember, you created a platform that persons can be abreast of stuff that is happening on the island of Jamaica. So, no, man, you don't let November people down, man. Don't say that. Well, remember, Javar Laban, that Morgan Rogers has played for England twice. 3 competitive games tie you to that nation. Remember, 3 games tie you to that country. So, for example, think about somebody like a Jalmaro Calvin. Jalmaro Calvin has played for Antigua and Barbuda once. If he played 3 competitive games for Antigua, that would tie him to Antigua. So, Jalmaro Calvin is still eligible to represent Jamaica. BM says, Simon, you're good. I'm doing well, thanks. Hope you're doing well. No, downgrading Dennis Brown. Absolutely not. I'm aware of his ability and what he has done. The crown prince of reggae. I mean, I was born in the early 90s, to be frank with you, Nitro. So when I was born in the early 90s, the first thing that I remember from the reggae era is Barry Salmon, Yellow Man, from a reggae standpoint, This is because remember I was born early 90s. So this is what I would have heard growing up in the 90s. But it's funny that Bob Marley cited Dennis Brown as his favorite singer. But yeah, I have full respect for Dennis Brown. He has an order of distinction as well, so he's done great things. Yeah, man. I was born in the 90s. I was born in the 90s. Yeah. BM. That would have been Watford. BM, you've been listening to stories and listening to the interview he gave on Sports Explosion. But yeah. I have one for you, BM. Let me give you a question now. Who is the last player to score in his debut for Jamaica at the senior level? Who is the last player to score in his debut for Jamaica at the senior level? Easy question. Easy question. All right. Who's the only Jamaican footballer to play in the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Conference League? The only reggae boy to play in the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Conference League. No, Javari Laban. Damari Gray did not score in his debut for Jamaica. Come on, Richard Green. He played for Hull City. He played for Hull City. He played for Livingston. He joined Hull City with Pepe Goodison. No, Javari Laban. Good point. Who was the first reggae boy to play in Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League? Ronaldo Cephas. Yes, BM. That's right. That's right. Okay, BM gets one right. Okay, cool. Good stuff. All right. Very encouraged, Tycoon. Very encouraged from the effort, especially that second half against the United States. Granted, this was 6 weeks ago, but he left encouraged by the second half, and he sees what we need to do, and very much so confident of World Cup qualification. So, which is good, as you know, players who play they trade in England. Any targets that he may have on his brain or his mind, as you know, it's very important. Naturalization, it's a process where somebody has to have a Jamaican passport before they represent Jamaica. And now this January time frame, the important thing is that he's going to see if there's one or two or three or more that can be able to strut their stuff. So, like I said, three held up their hands last year in a sense of three persons were eventually a part of every camp for Jamaica the calendar year. So there is a pathway. You go back to 2023, and Whisper was involved in 8 of the 9 camps that year as well. So I've seen where players who are on the island, there's an opportunity. Manson, next question. Okay. This is going to be a trick question. Who was no? Who is the only Jamaican to win 2 English League titles? The only Jamaican to win 2 English League titles. You are correct. And Nitro is also correct as well. Lindy De La Pena won the league title at Portsmouth in 1949 and 1950. Eventually went on to Middlesbrough, where he scored 90 goals in 260 games for Middlesbrough. He was feeding the ball to a man called Brian Clough. You all know who Brian Clough is. Lindy also went on to play for Mansfield Town, Hereford United, and Burton Albion. No BM, Lindy Del Pena, first Jamaican to win 2 league titles. Lloyd Lindbergh De La Pena. Who was the first Jamaican-born footballer to play for Manchester United? That's the next question. You are correct. The first Jamaican-born footballer to play for Manchester United was David Johnson. Viv Anderson was not born in Jamaica. David Johnson was born in Jamaica. He is and should be respected. A lot of people don't know who Noel Blake is. And Noel Blake was a pioneer for a man that left Jamaica and went on to play for Aston Villa. So people have to know about Noel Blake as well. And Jill Heron, the first black footballer to play professional footballer in Scotland, was a Jamaican. Very much something interesting, eh? Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Please do hit the like button. Please do share. Please do subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary for more content. That would be greatly appreciated. Okay? Looking forward to seeing more from you all. At some point later this week or next week, we will know who the squad will be for the domestic camps. So we wait and we look forward to that in due course, okay? Because that will come in due time. That information will be unveiled. And like the video. Come on, guys, get this video to 100 likes right now. You know what you need to do. All right? So proceed. Okay? Good. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you more for right here on Reggae Boys Commentary.
This video is brought to you by Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471.
I'm Javon Watson, and you're watching Reggae Boys Commentary.
Hi everybody, I'm Darren Moore, and you're watching Reggae Boys Commentary.
Yes, Reggae Boys Commentary, like and subscribe, yeah? Reggae Boys Commentary, like, share and subscribe.
Reggae Boys Commentary, subscribe, like and share. Is that the right order?
Hi, I'm Chris Binney, and I'm Jamaica's #1 squash player and 9-time Caribbean champion, and you're watching Reggae Boys Commentary. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe and share button below.